Hello, and welcome to At the Table with Pure. I am your host, Stephanie Alton, and my compadre, partner in business, my BB Business Bay, Ereka Thomas, is with me today. And we are so excited to be here with you all. At the Table with Pure is an opportunity for us to sit and talk with women in business partnership, and just share some of our own experiences, tips, tools. We have amazing guests that we bring on, like today. We have our awesome guest, Shay Robertson with Purposeful Planning. And we're going to be talking with you all today about what that looks like in business, purposeful planning in business. And so Shay Robertson is our guest. Shay, we're so happy to have you with us. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing well this morning. How are you guys doing this morning?
We're fantastic.
Good,
Fantastic.
good.
So we just want to say thank you so much, Shay, for being with us. We know that your schedule is always packed, but you plan it so well. And
Absolutely.
so you're going to be with us today talking about what it looks like to truly purposefully plan in business and how important that can be for women. You're a woman in business, you're an entrepreneur as well. And so you know what that looks like to be intentional about how you plan for your
Yes.
life and for your business. So that's one of the things that we wanted to talk about today. But tell us a little bit about you and your background and how you got into this whole process of purposeful planning.
So, like Stephanie said, first, I want to thank you guys for having me here. I would not have passed up this opportunity for nothing. I love you both. But how planning came about for me, it was about 18 years ago, and I was seeking new direction. I needed a change. I was in a place where I felt like I wasn't moving. I won't say how old I was because y'all have put the numbers together and know how old I am now. So I won't say that. But it's been 18 years since I've been planning. Yeah, and it came in a dark place. And you know that things are birthed sometimes in dark places. And I started planning because I needed more. I wanted more. And I knew the place I was in wasn't it. Like there's so much more to life than this place right here. So I started writing it down. And as I started to write things down one at a time, I saw things start to unfold. And I was like, oh, I might have something here. So as I continued to do it, I started at 23 and I set my goals to age 3. Okay, I'm over 40, y'all. I set my goals from at the age of 23 to 40, right? And every single thing I set out to accomplish, I did it. I planned it, I executed, and before I got to 40, everything was done. And I was like, phew. And that's not where it stopped. I think once I mastered it, because as I went along, I learned how to incorporate new parts. And the more creative I got with planning, the more creative I became with accomplishing my plan. So, a little story time, if I can.
Absolutely.
So, in November, planning had became so normal for me. I started seeking friends and people to plan with. And I could never get people that wanted to plan, like family and close friends. So I decided I want to plan with somebody. So I went to God and I was like, I want to plan. And he said, okay, well, invite friends. And I was like, no, like I want to plan with like 2 people. He was like, invite friends. So I did, and it has taken off from there. And I watch the people that I coach and planning, and I'm sitting back like a proud auntie, like, look at my baby. And it's amazing. The fulfillment is amazing. Fulfilling myself in my planning was always good. But when I start to coach people in planning, becoming a certified life coach, I had no idea this direction I was going to go in. But watching people birth their stuff, it is amazing. And I wouldn't change the journey for nothing. I
I
would.
get goosebumps. Like I'm literally getting, well, I call them the God bumps, right? My
Mhm.
goosebumps get goosebumps. I know that's God. And I think about just knowing you personally and
Right.
knowing parts of your journey and the things that you've experienced and how you have gotten to this place, how God literally had to step you through your own process so that you
Yes.
can step people through theirs. And Shay is my personal planning coach. And
Yes.
I've been a part of her purposeful planning experiences, and they're amazing. And what I love about the work that Shay does is that you don't even have to physically be where she is. You can virtually plan. I thought that was fascinating. I'm like, wow, how can I do this? And I've had an opportunity to be in person as well as virtually, and you still get the same experience. And that's what I love about the work that you do. It's been enlightening for me. I kind of consider myself a planner because I use my phone, my calendar. I'm always like planning things out. But you showed me that there's different ways to plan
Hmm.
and being very intentional about what you're planning for. And that was key, right?
Right.
Planning out your day is different than understanding what you're planning for. And
Right.
so every month I needed to plan for something different and utilize that month to be able to work through the steps to be able to
Hmm.
accomplish just that thing for that
Right.
month. And that's why it was so purposeful. I love that about the work that you do. But I wanted you to kind of tell the people a little bit about the experience that you create with purposeful planning and how God even brought you to that. Tell us a little bit more about that story.
So purposeful planning is planning with a purpose. Literally, it's strategic planning. And it's the type of planning for individuals, for groups, for businesses that are inspiring change. Because planning is work. It's cute to write it down and stick it on that shelf. It's cute to get it and say, oh, I wrote this down, or I did this vision board, and okay, I'm set for the year. But if you are inspiring new direction, it's work. We are talking about starting over several times. Not want to Don't want to get too personal, but 3 years ago I had to start over. And when I say start over, I started with nothing. 2 weeks worth of clothes, maybe, to a 6 bedroom house. But it was all in the plan. And I took it one day at a time and I took it step by step. One thing I heard Steve Harvey say almost 20 years ago was inch by inch is a stench. And I never understood that until I started looking at my planning and I started to break it down. So when we talk about planning in business, it's almost mirrored to how we plan in our individual lives. There's just a few things that's different, but it's almost the same thing. And if you dream it, you can do it. So I always say, why dream it when you can plan it?
Mm.
You need to trademark that. Like for real. That's so good. And how do you help the people that planning may not be natural to them? That is kind of like out of their comfort zone.
So for us, so we have a whole like little spill we do every single month. And when we come in, we talk, we meet, we greet, and then it's right into work. The very first thing we do is affirm ourselves because when you feel good, you think good. Your thoughts are positive. So when your thoughts are positive, you react positive and you do positive things. So we affirm ourselves. And not only do we affirm ourselves in private, we talk about it. So now it's public. Now I have given life to it because I put it in the atmosphere. So when you come into planning, whether it's for yourself, for a group, for a business, the first thing you want to do is give yourself life. So you speak positive into your life. So after we do that, we do this thing called a brain dump. It's so funny about the things that are actually on your mind that you really don't realize, but it's there. Like, I gotta wash clothes today. I need to go to the grocery store. I think I got one more toothpaste left. Like that stuff, it's there. So we do this thing called brain dump. And like I explained to everybody, just write it down. I don't care what I need to get gas. Write it down. Because when you get it out of here, it helps declutter. So I help you declutter the brain. And we talk about that too. Like, what were you thinking? You'll be amazed at the stuff that people say in our class. And we laugh and we laugh and we laugh. And I truly believe that laughter is medicine for the soul. So we laugh. And after we brain dump, we go into brainstorming. So then we start to look at the big picture. And then after we brainstorm, and I'm like, okay, now give me 3 things only that you want to work on. But I need to do this, and I need 3 things that you need to work on. So now you have to prioritize what you need to do first, second, and then. So you get those 3 things, and then you break it down. So now you done broke it down twice. I like to say chunk it, because when you put it in chunks, it's like puzzle pieces, right? When you brainstorm it, it's like puzzle pieces. And when you find the 3 pieces, when you do a puzzle, anybody that's good at doing puzzles, they find the corners first, and then they fill in the rest, right? So we find those corners, and then we start to fill in the rest. And that's how I like to work my purposeful planning. I can't give it all to you. Y'all got to kind of plan it. That's how we start.
Yeah.
And it goes from there.
I need to jump back real quick to something you just said, because that something awakened in me when you said what I got to do first, second, and then. First, second, and then. That just did something to me, because so often I know I'm the person that's like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do. It's like all these things, but prioritizing like what's first and what's second, then everything else can come after that, right? It doesn't always have to be I got to do this first, second, then this is third, then this is fourth. No, it's what's first, what's second, then, and you can build in the then after you get through 1 and 2.
Absolutely. And I don't say last, because, and here's why I don't say last. I don't say first, second, then, and last, or first, second, and last. Because when I set my plan from 23 to be accomplished by 40, and I finished it at 38, and then everything fell apart, and I had to start building again. And I'm like, but God, I set out to do this, and I did it. Like, I don't understand how everything is unraveling. And he said, you didn't give me anything to work with after 40.
Ooh.
And I said, he said, so there isn't an end. This is a continuing basis. This is a continuing thing. How are you going to become the best version of yourself if you stop? And I was like, okay, Lord, I hear you. I got it now. I got it.
Look, when something is like good to me, I want to take my whole shoe off and throw it. I don't have a shoe on right now.
I think I got Stephanie's goosebumps or little God bumps. I'm like, man, that was like. Now, the question because our audience is women who are purposed for partnership. They're women in business and different things like that. Do you have any recommendations of what planning for business partners would kind of look like outside of what you already shared for an individual?
Yes, but let me say this first before we go into that, please. When you are planning in business, make sure you're planning in personal, so they'll line up.
That's good.
Because if you all everywhere in your personal life, there's no way you can be on one accord in your business life. As much as we try to keep them separate, they always intertwine. So I wanted to say that. But absolutely. So monthly planning in business is very possible. However, here's what I recommend. I got my notes, y'all. I got my notes.
Go on with your notes, Shay.
Okay, so the first thing I would like to say for business or companies is to have an end goal in mind. Like, have your end goal, right? Once you have your end goal And when I say end goal, I mean like long term. Once you have your end goal, break that down by the year. Once you break it down by the year, break it down by the month. And once you break that down by the month, then break it down by the week. Once you break it down by the week, then you want to have weekly check-ins, because those weekly check-ins are critical, right? Because in the weekly check-ins, you learn so much. You learn a lot about your partners in your business in your weekly check-in. Here's why I recommend weekly check-ins. Everybody in business, like you ladies and myself, we know business change from day to day. So you have to be able to adapt accordingly. You can't be so stuck in a plan that you can't move. As business owner, you have to be able to navigate. I heard this. Not only navigate, you have to be able to delegate in business as partners. So with that being said, check-ins keep all partners accountable. Because if I know we got to check in, I got to have something to bring back to the table. Because I can't keep coming back to the table with nothing if I'm a partner. So it keeps everybody accountable. Weekly check-ins help you identify the strengths and the weakness of your team, because the team is only as strong as their weakest link. So if everyone is focused and driven in their strength, the team will be pretty solid. Because if I'm an administrator, right, and you, Ereka, is a social media guru, right, and Stephanie is the advertising guru. I'm not going to do advertising. I can make sure all our bills is paid. I can make sure everything is in order. I can make sure. I don't want to step into Stephanie's lane or Ereka's lane, because we're not going to be successful if y'all waiting for me to do that part. So it identifies strengths and weaknesses. You know, we all break out, oh, I can do that, I can do that, and I can do that, because we dibble and dabble in advertisement and we dibble and dabble in social media, but that's not where I'm strong. So if that's not my strongest place, I shouldn't be there. If you can do it second nature, then that's where you should be. And you have to be okay and trust your partner to make sure they're going to do what needs to be done to benefit your business.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Those are some amazing tips. Because what I'm realizing, like you said, even playing on our strengths, it's still an opportunity. Like, I can't use the excuse, oh, I'm not a planner. Like, that's just not, like you said, your affirmations and your confessions. Like, God already, he told me, he was like, hey, you're going to need some structure. It's kind of like when I was in high school, I didn't have to study. I just didn't. It came natural. I was a natural at math. I was natural at science. I didn't have to study for that kind of stuff. However, come space, as our VA would say, when I got to college, that was on a whole nother level. I was like trying to take them same skills to college. And it was like, wait a minute. I'm going to study sessions blanking like I ain't even developed no study skills. Like I have no clue what I'm doing.
Right.
You know? So it's like, I see that as God continues to elevate us, there's skills and things that are required. We just talked with somebody about your money management and stuff like that. You can't just pass that off to somebody. You got to participate. So this, yeah, amen. I'm signing up.
Okay. Oh, look at that. Ereka signing up for Purposeful Planning. Oh, that's how we do it.
So who much is given, much more is required.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I understand you though, Ereka, on that those strategies and stuff we used in high school. Because I graduated my undergrad cum laude. Like, I did the thing, got to that master's. I had to take accounting class. Their word. So that master's degree was a little bit different.
Yeah. You cannot apply the same strategies when you are going to another level.
Right.
It requires something new.
it goes back to scripture. Because when I
Yeah.
was a child, I thought like a
Not as
child.
a child. Yeah. Ooh, you better say that. You better
Right.
say that, Shay. Woo. So Erica and I, we have our individual businesses, but when we came together with Pure Solutions and Consulting,
Uh-huh.
we merged thought processes and ideas. And now here we have this business that we partner together in. And we're in the process of really being much more intentional about how we plan. But there's some months where, we may not have met certain goals and we kind of have gotten maybe thrown off. And so now we're like, okay, well, how do we get back on track? What could business partners do when they don't actually meet the monthly goals that they may have set or planned for? What are some of the things that we could do?
So the thing that I would recommend is moving it to the next month. That's it. Move it. You didn't get it this month. Guess what? You still executed something. So celebrate that. Instead of focusing on what you didn't do, focus on what you did do, because that was a big deal. Move it to the next month. And instead of putting it at the bottom, now you have to put that one at the top, because we're going to get that one done. And once you get that one done, then you work on 2 new ones. So, my goal is always 3, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It's always 3. So when you don't get that one done, say we didn't get something done from March, we're going to move that to April. And it's going to be at the top of the list. Once we execute that, we can move into our new things. We're going to execute those 2 things, and then we're going to have 3 new things in May.
It sounds so simple.
It really
It is. We just overthink it. It's about adapting.
Yeah.
It's adapting.
Man, why do we always make things so hard for ourselves? You just made it seem so easy because you live that life. You
Right.
see what it looks like if I did not do it in this month, I'm going to move it to the top of the list for the next month. I'm going to execute on that, and then I'm going to move into the next things. It goes back to not beating ourselves up, right? And I shared that in a previous show that we recorded. Is we don't have to beat ourselves up. God gives us grace. We get grace. Grace abounds for us to get the things done that we're supposed to do. And so when we are purposed to do it, there's the grace to get it done, right? Now, we may not be getting certain things done because maybe we're actually not purposed to do that. So that's where we have to really process through and have the conversations with the Holy Spirit. Like, am I actually supposed to do this? Did I hear this from you? Or what is it? But when it's purposed, you can then purposely plan for it as well.
Right.
So that's good. That's good.
So a practical tool for goal setting, I believe in business, is basically it's just bringing your vision to life. I have a planning sheet that I use. And the first thing I like to look at is, what is the big picture? Once you know what the big picture is, you draw it. And when I say draw it, I mean literally draw it. You put words to it, you put pictures to it, you give it phrases, it gives it life, because Habakkuk 2:2 says, write your vision and make it plain so it can be seen on the go. You don't have to sit down and say, okay, so now what now? Now what? Now what? That's what your planning sheet for. So you got to write it out on your planning sheet. And I'm going to just show you an example of one of the things I did. So for April, I did April flowers, May showers. And I won't go into it much because it's something we do in my class. But so this is one of my illustrations. And this is how I draw.
Okay.
My clouds, I got God's plan. And God rained down on my April showers. And it gives me. And at each flower, I have my goal. So I'm not telling, I don't tell people to do stuff that I'm not doing. I do this every single month. So when I write it out on my plan sheet, I start to chunk it. I chunk it, like you can take a couple years, the big pictures, like I said, break it down year by year by year, and give yourself 12 puzzle pieces. And the more you move those pieces around, you'll know what needs to come first, what needs to come next. Get your 4 corners. Then as you get each piece, dissect that piece. Take that one piece and dissect it, right? And that's where you're going to create your SMART goal. When you create your SMART goal, you want to break it down into steps, a step-by-step plan. In your step-by-step plan, you want to know what steps is it going to take to get me where I need to be, right? So you're going to write those steps down. I try to make it at least 5 steps only. Don't make it 20 steps because then you're just throwing stuff in there. No, get to the meat and the potatoes. Spoon in the milk, meat and potatoes, write those 5 steps down. You write those 5 steps down, then what tools do I need to be successful? Now, that question for me is big because, especially in business, what tools do I need to be successful? Tools are not just crayons, markers, pencils, a ruler, a hammer. The tools is who I need, what I need, when I need it, and how I need it. Those are the tools. Those are the things you need to answer when you need to figure out what tools I need to be successful this month, not this year, this month in completing my goals and reaching my goals. Who, what, when, and how.
Ooh,
Because there are people that are tied to you that you need to help you complete what you need to complete that month.
that's awesome. Man, that's worth the price of admission right there. This was so much, just so many great nuggets and so much meat. I just want Shay, if you could just spend a few minutes sharing with the people how do we get access to this? Because I and we need this. So tell us how we can
Come
tell
on
us,
over. I
tell us
welcome
what
the
we need to do.
people. So I do have a Facebook page. It's called Purposeful Planning. And it's kind of like a private group because I only like the people that are participating in there because I do check-ins. Every now and then I bump in there and say, how is the month going? What are you doing? What have you accomplished? What's going on? So I like to check in. But I also have an Instagram page and it's called Coach Shay Marginate. And on that page, I post a lot of things. And like I said, I'm a part of a lot of things. I have a few businesses, so I post things there as well. I'm still working on, again, because I'm not a social media person. I'm hiring a social media person to help me with that stuff. But those are the 2 places I mostly interact is on my Instagram, Coach Shay Marginet, and on my Facebook, Purposeful Planning.
And as far as people like myself, I'm in Oklahoma right now. So if I wanted to participate virtually, do I just contact you on Facebook or Instagram or?
Contact me on Facebook or Instagram because I post. Matter of fact, this month, actually next Saturday, I am doing a free workshop. This is my second free workshop to help people because I like to see people win. So if you want to get in that class, it's limited. I have to say it's limited because I like to keep it small and intimate. You would DM me and I will get you that information that you need. I'll email you the planning sheets and send you the Zoom link the day we get ready to go on.
It's very intentional. That's one of the things I do like about it, that Shay does keep the purposeful planning small because she really wants to be able to be intimately involved in
Right.
your planning process and what you're doing. And so whether you're live or through Zoom, and like I said before, I've been a part of both, you're getting a very intimate, structured process.
Mhm.
Even through Zoom, you feel like you're connected to the people in the room because we're all talking to each other and sharing. Look, I'm just gonna say, every time I see Shay's drawings, I get jealous. I get jealous because I cannot. That is not my gifting, right? And I saw Ereka just cheesing up a storm because that is her. That girl she draws everything. She draws all her thoughts, her ideas,
Right.
and so her eyes lit up and her mouth just spread because she was like, "Oh my God, this girl is my soul partner." Like, and so it's such an amazing experience to be able to, and Shay has like all. I mean, I've never seen so much stuff. Like, Shay has bins and bins and bins of stuff for you to use, right? And she'll tell you if you're virtual, like the things. And I think Shay even sent me some stuff one time when I couldn't physically come. She sent me
Right.
stuff that I could use to be able to plan through the Zoom with everyone else being live. And it's just such a great experience because you do get to hear from other people what they're planning for. You get to pray
Mhm.
for them in their planning process, right?
Right.
We want to see each other's plans come to fruition. We want to be able
Mhm.
to support each other. And Shay is serious about those check-ins, y'all, because she
Absolutely.
will not just check in the Facebook group, but she'll text you, she'll call you, hey, how you doing with your, monthly goals? Where you getting stuck? Where can I support you? And I love that about her being my planning coach and a planning coach because it helps to set you back on track when you feel like I think I fell off track this month and here's why. And with her it's so easy because she's graceful. She's like, it's okay, we're gonna get you back on track, right? And so these purposeful planning sessions are amazing. Tell them the price normally for the monthly planning.
So monthly planning, I don't, I have to tell this story. I have to. It was hard for me to charge people to start planning. And I went and bought all this stuff. And, so people's like, I'm going to pay you. And I was like, okay. So I only charge $25 to do, yes, ma'am. I only charge $25 to do group planning.
Yep.
And if you want me more one on one, those prices change, of course. But for our group planning, it's only $25.
Yes. And it's 25 of the best dollars you will spend in that month because it really helps to set the tone for the next month.
Yes.
And you get to have fun doing it, right? So I love
Yes.
that. I love the camaraderie. I love the guidance. I love the structure. And it really does get you in tune with what am I supposed to be doing? What is that specific thing that I'm called to do? And I want to be able to execute it well in the next month. And I love, like Shay, show the drawing again, because I just love how each of your flowers was like a goal.
Yeah.
Look at that. Minimize
So
debt.
I
Finish the book.
am finished my book. Yeah,
Okay.
minimize that.
Finish the binder.
So let me tell you about the binder. I am creating a binder for this very purpose.
Yes.
And in that binder, you will have everything you need. You have your graphic paper, you have your notebook, you have your calendar, you have your budget sheet, like everything. Because I have so many different binders because I'm a planner and I said, I need all this stuff in one place. So that will be dropping very soon. It's in the end stages, but Stephanie can tell you because she is my person, literary doula. She can tell you I've been working on this book, and every month I move it. I work on it. Like I set goals first, but it had got to the place where I had to finish. So I finished and then I moved it. So yeah, it's I
It's a
love it.
process. It's a
It
process.
is a process. And one thing I want to say too is I coach you. I don't tell you. I coach you. I make you think, and you say it to me, I say it back to you. And if it don't make sense, I need you to make it make sense.
Ooh,
Once we make it make sense, then we put it on paper. We put it on paper.
That's
make it make
good.
sense.
Woo!
Ooh.
Make it make sense, Jesus. Make it make sense. Man, Shay, this has been eye opening for me,
Yes.
especially because I haven't participated in the planning monthly plannings. But man,
No, no.
yes, you will be seeing my information coming through. But we just want to thank you so much for joining us today because you have given us your contact information, and we will be adding it to the details and the descriptions when we actually launch this particular episode. So people are going to be getting in contact with you. We're going to be referring people to you, even from our business, the consulting side of our business, because it's a
Mhm.
necessary thing. And when God has graced a person to do a thing, just like you said, who are the people that you need to connect with? You are a person that we need to connect with when we're trying to do things that may not, like you said, may not necessarily be our strong point. But now we know somebody who that's their grace. Just like I'm grace to do things and Stephanie's grace to do things. We're all in this kingdom community in order to further the kingdom. So we just want to thank you. We appreciate you. We honor you and bless you in all that you're doing. And just know, I'm saying this by the Spirit of God. If you don't sign up today for this $25, the price is going up. Like Fat Joe said, yesterday's price is not today's
price.
So please go sign up, because it is not going to stay there.
I want to say this too. I know a lot of people don't like to plan with people that they don't know. So I will do a planning for a group of a person and their friends or them and their family, because I plan with all ages. Again, I'm a first grade teacher first. That's my first job, career. So I plan with all ages.
I love that. So you hear that, everyone. If you really want to be intentional about planning, but you may not want to plan with people that you don't know, get your group together. Get your posse. That's
Yes.
I dated myself. I dated myself with that posse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it nowadays. You know, I'm still in my own time, my old time frame.
Let's go with group.
Get your group together and get with Shay Robertson as your planning coach, your purposeful planning coach, and she could do like mini planning retreats with you and your group. So contact her. We'll make sure in the description, like Ereka said, that her contact information is there so that you know how to reach her, and just be ready to purposefully plan month by month, being led by the Holy Spirit, how God wants you to be able to plan for your life. So this has been At the Table with Pure, with your host, Stephanie Outen and Ereka Thomas. And we have been blessed with Shay Robertson today, Purposeful Planning Coach. We thank you so much for joining us. We just want to say so much more to come with Pure, with Pure Solutions and Consulting and our whole Purpose for Partnership platform. So definitely visit us at www.purposedforpartnership.com. That's www.purposedforpartnership.com. Sign up on our mailing list so that you know what's to come. We have master classes coming. We have a future community coming. We really want to make this a place and a space where women in business, women who are destined and purposed for partnership, to be able to have opportunities to connect with each other, to grow with each other, and to really be able to build our kingdom businesses the way that God has designed. So we thank you so much for joining us today. Be blessed, and we'll see you soon.